Welcome to another Shattered Nightmare. Today I'm planning my December bullet journal setup with you. And since December only truly feels like December to me when the world is covered in a thick blanket of snow, I choose snow as theme for this month. For this setup I really wanted to play around with watercolor again. I bought this set recently and it's the first time in many years that I've worked with real watercolors. Unfortunately, the brush that came with it is a bit tiny and, crappy. But I started the setup right after work and was simply too lazy to go look for a better one. I also wish the blue was a bit darker and less cyan. It looks very different on paper compared to the paint pan, but I tried to make the best of it by deepening the edges with a bit of black. Technically, I could have mixed in some purple too, but the pages of my journal aren't really meant to handle a lot of water. They are not meant for watercolor at all actually, but I love how the pages warp slightly, as if they'd been lying out in the snow on a frosty winter morning. I'm also adding a bit of silver paint for a subtle shimmer that unfortunately doesn't show well on camera. And I use my metallic markers to outline the page. Then I darken everything a little more with stamp ink, my all-time favorite tool, because the page still felt a bit too colorful in my taste. With an old toothbrush, I splatter white acrylic paint across the page to create snowflakes. And for the trees on the cover page, I'm using a piece of cardboard instead of a brush. You can probably already tell I'm fully back in my experimental smudgy mood.
She once was the light of a flowery breeze, the sunlight in nature's heart, a warmth in the soil where the seed of life dwelled before the frost tore her apart. Swept off by a timid, trembling step, something ancient stole her away. Cold claws crowned her with death and decay, and showed her the beauty of the grave.
Next, I add a few stars to the sky. I made them using a star punch and old bits of foil and gift wrap. The bigger stars I simply cut out with scissors. Snowflakes and stars will appear throughout the entire setup this month. I also add a few details back into the trees, since they turn out a bit too solid white. For the title this month, I'm using these super cool silver letter stickers I randomly found at Action. They look so good on the page that I'm honestly kicking myself for not buying a second sheet. Since the letters are quite small, placing them is a fiddly task, and I was very grateful for my tweezers. Next comes my page for notes, appointments, to-dos, and everything else. I realized in November that I don't actually need a monthly overview, so I'm skipping it again in December. Normally, I'd also include a gift ideas page, but I finished all my shopping so early this year that I added that one into my November setup instead. I'm honestly really relieved. Avoiding the whole pre-Christmas shopping stress feels amazing. The stress from onion work is more than enough. But back to journaling. I paint the entire background again and give the page a border with metallic markers and stamp ink. And of course, snow and stars can't be missing. This time, I remembered to cover my table first, so I don't have to scrape off paint later.
The wind sings through her ribcage in ghastly romance, dead eyes begging to the sky, stiff fingers long cracked in the ungracious white, and flowers of ice bloom on her.
I'm already super excited to use the next spread in December. I once saw a junk journaling video on TikTok where someone glued a memorable little piece into the journal every single day. And I thought that would be a perfect idea for a tiny memory advent calendar in my bullet journal. So to enhance that advent calendar feeling, I wrote a big 24 on the page with a barely noticeable +7 underneath. You know, instead of 24 days of Christmas, it's 31. One tiny punched piece for every day of the month. Here's an example, a snippet from the packaging of a Rittersport marzipan bar. In my opinion, one of the best marzipan chocolates out there. Yes, I absolutely love marzipan, if you couldn't tell from that. I personally love the look of this 3-line lettering, and I can't wait to see how the spread will look by the end of the month. For the memory page, I changed the design slightly and didn't paint the entire page blue. Instead, I used a lot of silver paint so that the memories will be wrapped in a soft, mystical shimmer. I kept the page as empty as possible to leave space for photos. My mother will visit me in Germany for the first time this Christmas, so we'll definitely be out and about a lot. Along with the snow splatters, I also added a bit of textured snow at the bottom of the page. Fittingly, the title for this month's memory page is Traces, for my footprints in the snow of time. For the weekly spreads, I went back to the fully blue pages. I also cut away pieces of the page edges again, so the darker sections remain visible throughout the entire month. This darker strip is where I mark the weekdays and where I've separated the writing space with more snow and stars. And with that, we've reached the final flip through. I hope you enjoyed my wintry December setup. This was the first year I shared my bullet journal journey with you, and your positive feedback has meant so much to me. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to continue seeing videos like this. And if you enjoyed today's journey through the shadows, please subscribe and leave a like. See you next time and stay spooky!